AAA today and find out how much you can save.
Right now in Midday, Kentucky lawmakers have filed dozens of bills in just the first day of the legislative session. We'll tell you what some of those are about. And the former Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, has now officially filed for the upcoming U.S. Senate race. What he says his challenges during this campaign. Midday starts right now.
Now, Wave News Midday.
Hi there, already to Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us here for Midday. I'm Shannon Kogan. Let's check in with meteorologist Brian Good right now, and similar to yesterday.
Very similar, in fact. I know this morning it's been relatively cloudy. We had a bit of fog around the area. That is already starting to break up, and seeing that blue sky overhead is a nice sight. It's a live view right now from the harbors in Jeffersonville. And look how still the Ohio River is, too. So a very calm, serene setup as we head throughout this late morning. A bit cool. We're in the 40s, but with the clouds beginning to break up and the amount of sun we're going to see here for the rest of the day, that thermometer will certainly react. And we'll see that steady climb into the 50s. In fact, upper 50s again for Louisville look likely. And then tonight, another cool night down in the 40s. But tomorrow is when we start to kick up our more active weather with rain and thunderstorms and some wind. We'll talk about that and what it means for the weekend as well in just a few more minutes, Shannon.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. And we're getting some new reaction after LMPD released video from its response to the deadly UPS crash. It happened in November, and a viewer sent us some video. It shows huge plumes of smoke. The viewer said they also jumped in to help some of the first responders and rescue people at the scene. Air crews from LMPD gave us a look at the early moments, too, of the crash site. Until LMPD's pilot got in the air, crews on the ground had really no clear idea of the scope of what they were dealing with. So the pilot gave valuable direction to crews on the ground who were trying to navigate through some of the very dangerous hazards, looking for survivors.
It was a little overwhelming. It was a lot to take in. You didn't know how many people were in the path of that. And then it's not really a scenario that you train for. A huge airliner with 42,000 gallons of fuel on board crashing on takeoff.
Federal investigators are still sorting through the evidence at the crash site. 15 people died as a result of the crash. 23 more were hurt. Some local businesses impacted by the crash are still trying to get access to their buildings. Emergency management leaders have not shared an exact timeline for when all the restoration work will be finished. Several victims' families have filed lawsuits on behalf of their deceased loved ones. Our extended and extensive coverage of the UPS plane crash is updated regularly on wave3.com. New on Midday, a man is in critical condition after being shot in Park Duval early this morning. LMPD says it happened just after 3 this morning on Lang Court, not far from Carter Traditional Elementary. Officers say they found a man shot in the neck. He was taken to U of L Hospital and is listed in critical condition. LMPD is searching for the shooter. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office has now identified the woman who was hit and killed while stepping out of her vehicle after being involved in a crash. She's been identified as 55-year-old Chiquita Woods. Investigators say this happened about 7:30 yesterday morning at Bardstown Road and Watterson Trail. Police say the call started as a non-injury wreck, but before police got to the scene, the woman had left her vehicle, and that's when another driver hit her. The driver who hit her was not charged. Also new on Midday, former Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron has officially filed for the U.S. Senate seat. Cameron said some of his first focuses are on if elected, include lowering taxes, standing up for law enforcement, the border, and energy use. And he shared what his biggest challenge is during this campaign.
I think what we are focused on is getting to as many counties as we possibly can. We feel very good about what the polling says, but my job and our family's responsibility will be to get to 120 counties and to share a message of common sense.
Cameron previously ran for Kentucky's governor's office. Andy Beshear defeated him in 2023. Democratic Senate candidate Amy McGrath also filed for this Senate seat this week, and we'll have reaction from her coming up at 11:30. Today, Governor Beshear will deliver his State of the Commonwealth address. The address is scheduled for 5:30 this evening. It will also include the governor's biennial budget address. The speech will take place at the Thomas D. Clark Center for Kentucky History in Frankfort. The governor is expected expected to lay out which topics he wants lawmakers to tackle in this year's legislative session. In just under an hour, we will learn more about the city's first ever chief AI officer and Metro's first AI pilot project. It's a part of the mayor's press conference today at noon. We'll share what we learn later on Wave News. On the first day of the session, more than 50 bills have already been filed by lawmakers, and some of those grabbing attention that include Senate Bill 181. This looks to clarify language in last year's Senate Bill 181. That's a student safety law relating to communication between school staff and students and how that communication can take place. Senate Bill 26 aims to ban DEI practices from being required in schools. And a big focus will be that two-year budget. House Majority Leader Representative David Osborne says the General Assembly is focused on solutions-driven policy that support all Kentuckians.
All of those things that we feel like it's important that we reach some type of bipartisan, bicameral agreement to. And I think those will be, obviously the budget will dominate everything. But beyond that, I think you look at the work groups that we had, and those will kind of point you to our priorities.
The 2026 legislative session is scheduled to end April 15th. Kentucky Senator Jimmy Higdon is proposing the Phone Down Act. It comes after a 2-year-old Louisville girl, Kimberly Burns, died in a car crash in October 2022. Authorities believe the other driver was speeding and distracted. The bill would make using about all mobile devices illegal while driving, while allowing exceptions for GPS navigation, emergencies, and law enforcement. Alyssa Burns, Kimberly's mother, says her daughter was not just a statistic on paper and believes that the legislation could help save future lives. Higdon agrees.
This is a bill that I think is very important that we pass and get people to be conscious of the dangers of driving distracted. 99% of Kentuckians are law-abiding citizens, and if the law says don't talk on your cell phone, I believe that the majority of Kentuckians will follow that.
And we will keep you posted as this proposal moves through the legislative session. The Louisville Cards dropped their second game in a row after a disappointing second half last night. The 20th ranked Cards took on number 6 Duke last night, and they didn't have their star freshman again, Kyle Brown. It's the 5th straight game he's missed now. Now, UofL led early, looking good in the first half, taking a 47-38 lead, but then in the second, Duke's Cam Boozer led the way. 27 points, 8 rebounds. Duke comes all the way back, and they win this 84-73. Coach Pat Kelsey not thrilled by his team's performance closing out this game.
Very, very disappointed. Crowd was amazing. The atmosphere was ridiculous. Just very, very disappointed with our performance in the second half. Defense, they shot 70% from the field. Everything was at the rim. We start fouling, weren't able to get out in transition because they were standing at the free throw line, and they really attacked us off the middle pick and roll. We had to do a much better job than we did.
The Cards play at home again on Saturday, taking on Boston College. Tip-off for that game is noon, and you can watch it on the CW. Here is Brian right now with a look at the weather.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Temperatures will be warming up into the 50s today, 60s to near 70s before the week is over. But look at the snapshot for Sunday. Ooh, this is going to sting. That's not anything record-breaking, but compared to where we've been, it will be certainly noticeable. We'll talk more about that and whether or not we can get some snow out of this in that 10-day coming up in just a few more minutes, Shannon.
Thank you. Still to come on Midday, Warner Brothers Discovery rejected Paramount's bid this morning and went with Netflix's offer. Why they declined the other bid next.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students. Lawnmower Superstore today.
Well, there is a whole lot going on over the next week or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's been relatively quiet and easy going for us, so we knew something at some point would change, right? And this week, it's a pair of systems rolling our way that will be bringing in multiple types of weather, really. It's on about timing as well as it rolls in. Right now, though, we've got a little bit of haze and some of that fog that was around this morning. We're already seeing a lot of improvement, though. Blue sky overhead. It's actually really pretty out. 44 degrees in Louisville, but that's on the climb now that we've lost majority of that low stratus bank that we had this morning. Some of it lingering on the southern edge of the metro, right there, a stripe right across court into Jasper. You still got an overcast sky, but north and south of that, you are mainly sunny. Don't worry, guys. In Jasper as well, you'll see that clearing work out for you here very soon. You can already see the next system, though, the high clouds being pulled in as the sun lights them up this morning, and that moisture plume starting way back here, not too far away from Arizona into Roswell, New Mexico, and that's heading east right into our backyards, and that is going to be our main source of rain. And it's two systems, all right? So both of them actually do fit into the next 3 days. We don't have to go into the 10 to even see them. So let's start with Thursday, because today is going to be quiet. We know that. So tomorrow will begin quiet as well, maybe some patchy fog in a few spots. We get into midday tomorrow. The warm front will begin to approach. There's not going to be a lot of rain with the warm front, but a few spotty showers, maybe some drizzle. Yeah, that's possible. It'll move by. Temperatures will then warm into the 60s, maybe a downpour or two in the evening. But the main show will be late Thursday night into the morning drive on Friday when that cold front at least approaches the area. I don't think it's going to come all the way through. It'll get close and then get stuck somewhere in Indiana. But it will have a line with downpours, maybe some thunderstorms, but the severe risk at this point in the night, early morning, is still quite low. So at the moment, we don't see any major impacts from that front for early on your Friday. So looking at just your rain chances in general for Thursday alone, when that warm front passes by, again, a few spotty light showers possible. Otherwise, the rain chance will go up more so as we head into late Thursday night. And the wind will have the same effect as well. The wind will ramp up when the warm front passes by. Nothing too excessive, but it will be noticeable. But look at the difference it'll have on temperature. 65 in the afternoon tomorrow and only 62 for a low temperature for tomorrow night. We get into Friday. We will continue with another round of rain coming our way. System number 2 arrives. So after the morning showers on Friday, the next round moves in Friday afternoon, evening. The majority of the severe weather with that one looks to be down in Tennessee, but as it leaves town, it could actually give us a bit of snow. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a few more minutes, Shannon.
Ooh, snow. Thank you. New on Midday, the U.S. seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker in the North Atlantic today. The U.S. European Command confirmed the ship has been secured, and the Department of Homeland Security is leading the operation with the support of the U.S. military. The vessel was pursued by the U.S. Coast Guard off of Venezuela last month. With deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro facing drug charges, the question of who will be in charge of the country going forward is not yet clear, even after the vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in as interim president. NBC's George Solis breaks down the power in the country.
As Venezuela's deposed president, Nicolás Maduro, sits in a Brooklyn detention center. And with the country's future increasingly uncertain, all eyes turn to the key players within Venezuela who possess the power to potentially reshape it. Following Maduro's capture, his VP and staunch ally, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in as interim president. Her relationship with the U.S. unclear after a threat from Trump if she doesn't cooperate.
I just say that she will face a situation probably worse than Maduro, because, you know, Maduro gave up.
That prompted a defiant response, condemning the raid as an, quote, atrocity that violates international law. Hours later, softening her message, writing on Telegram, "We prioritize moving towards balanced and respectful international relations between the United States and Venezuela." Rodriguez's brother Jorge, also prominent as the president of Venezuela's National Assembly and her ally in the legislature. Diosdado Cabello Rondon is Venezuela's Minister of Interior, Justice, and Peace, a top Maduro ally who began as a trusted lieutenant of Hugo Chavez. He's in charge of the police and intelligence agencies, charged with drug trafficking alongside Maduro by the feds. The U.S. is offering up to $25 million for information that could lead to his arrest.
No a la guerra.
Vladimir Padrino Lopez is a four-star general, the country's longtime Minister of Defense and a crucial bridge between the presidency and the armed forces. He has endorsed and aligned the military with the interim presidency of Delcy Rodriguez. Meanwhile, the opposition, Edmundo Gonzalez, is the rightful winner of the most recent election in 2024. After the election, he faced an arrest warrant from the Maduro government and fled to political asylum in Spain. Since Maduro's capture, Gonzalez has demanded the release of political prisoners and respect for the will of Venezuelan voters. And the global face of the opposition and an underlying champion of democracy, Maria Corina Machado. Authorities aligned with the Maduro regime barred her from running for president in 2023 after she won the primary overwhelmingly. But she does not seem to have the backing of President Trump.
It'd be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Last year, Machado was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work standing up to authoritarianism, something this week she said she'd like to share with Trump.
I do want to say today, on behalf of the Venezuelan people, how grateful we are for his courageous vision, the actions, historical actions he has taken against this narco-terrorist regime.
She's currently living outside Venezuela in an undisclosed safe location, but has pledged to return, quote, as soon as possible.
They have
Rob and Michelle Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, will appear before a judge today. He'll be arraigned and enter a plea to murder charges. Prosecutors say he stabbed and killed his parents in their home in Los Angeles last month. Nick Reiner was arrested hours later, has been held without bail since, and he was charged 2 days later with 2 counts of first-degree murder. If convicted, it carries a penalty of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. He's expected in court around 11:30 Eastern Time. Warner Brothers announced they will pursue a deal with Netflix. For now, it comes as Paramount offered to buy Warner Brothers after Netflix already announced their plans to do so. The Warner Brothers Discovery Board advised shareholders to reject last month's takeover offer from Paramount. It's been trying to buy Warner Brothers for months. Paramount was offering $30 a share of stock versus Netflix's $27 a share. But according to the Warner Brothers board, they believe Paramount's offer is too risky because it relies heavily on debt. Still ahead on Midday, the Hoosiers on the road to Atlanta today. Just 2 days away now from this year's Peach Bowl. How players are getting ready next.
Allergies hit
call me and let's get your life back.
Well, it's a new year. Good time to try something new, and a place to do that is the Splattery in Louisville. It's a splatter paint studio, and Marissa Burke checked it out.
You know, who knew throwing paint could be so much fun? I'm here with Anthony, the owner of the Splattery, and we've done a couple different techniques, but we still got more work to do, Anthony.
We do.
What else can we do to this canvas?
So sometimes, you see how you get this nice drip pattern? Sometimes a fun thing that you can do to quite literally mix up the paint on your canvas is play with rotation.
Okay.
So we're gonna go some landscape right here.
Okay.
See what we got, and then we're gonna hit it from a couple different directions now.
Okay.
So why don't you give that a good throw?
Okay, here we go.
Whoa! So one of the fun things that you can do to add maybe potentially some accent to your canvas is to get a little flick with your stick. All right, so you can add
that's
a little
fun.
bit of accent to your canvas. Here's a nice yellow for you.
That's the orange for Harrison, and then here is the yellow for Shannon because yellow is her favorite color.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, you've been here for a few months now. You opened your doors in August?
I did, and as you can see from the wall, the community has thrown a lot of paint. It's been great so far. I mean, yeah, I'm here in Butchertown, Butchertown Market, and it's been amazing since I've opened.
Oh, guys, if you are interested in kind of letting your creativity run wild, just letting you know, if you have a type A personality like myself, you got to work through some feelings, but Anthony is here to help you get through that. And look at our masterpiece. I just can't wait for it to dry and all the things come about.
It will look amazing.
So guys, if you're interested in creating your own masterpieces, you got to be at least 10 years old to throw paint.
But yeah, just go to thesplattery.com and book your session.
Perfect. Marissa Burke, Wave News.
Now, your 10-day forecast from the Wave Storm Tracking Team.
I don't know what you guys saw there, but I saw a brontosaurus carrying a fur coat eating cherries. That's what it looked like to me, but I guess it's a matter of perspective. All right, here's your entire 10-day. We mentioned the rain and the wind and the warmth. I don't want to ignore that because that's a nice bonus here that we're talking about well into the 60s to near 70 potentially on Friday. An inch or two of rain, especially higher to the south, looks like. We get into the weekend. This is our transition day to go from that warmer weather back to chilly weather on Saturday. We may even get some ice pellets mixed in with some of the rain showers later Saturday afternoon, but during the day, we'll still get into the 50s. But then we drop Saturday night into Sunday, and as we drop, here come the snow showers flying on by the Ohio Valley. Now, this is going to be battling, obviously, the warm grounds as of late, so that will negate any type of really travel issues, but briefly could stick on grass areas, the roofs, the car tops, your patio furniture, that kind of ordeal, and it would likely melt away not long after falling. So this is not a huge event on the snow side. Again, a very minor burst of flurries and snow showers, but it will just be a very gentle reminder that it is January. And when you look ahead down the road, we're back at it again with more wintry weather as we head into later next week. Shannon?
Thank you, Brian. Well, the Indiana Hoosiers football team one day closer to facing off against upcoming UK head coach Will Stein, who is still with the Oregon Ducks right now. The Hoosiers wrapped up their final practice in Bloomington yesterday. They're going to travel to Atlanta today. Now, the two teams already familiar with each other. They faced off in the regular season. IU won that game. Score of 30-20. It was on the road, but the Ducks have not lost a game since the Indiana game in October. Indiana running back Roman Hemby says he trusts his team to play for each other, and that's enough to get a win.
Regardless of the situation, regardless of where we are in the game, we know that all it takes is for 11 guys to do their job. And we're here for a reason because we have 11 guys that can do their job, and we trust each other. We have that love for one another, and when we get out there on the field, we know that we're going to put it on display.
Officials say 7 players have been ruled out for the Hoosiers for the game. So has the Ducks running back Jordan Davison. The Hoosiers arrive in Atlanta tonight after 9. Sports reporter Dusty Baker is there. He's going to be talking with some of those players tonight. And then in Bloomington, check this out. thousands of fans wrapped around campus, waiting hours to pick up one of those, a commemorative Peach Bowl poster and a rally towel before the game. An IU organizer says the university handed out 10,000 towels and 8,000 posters.
It's never going to feel real just seeing like how many people not even lining up for a game, lining up just to get a commemorative towel. It's crazy.
I think this is 100% a good way to feel a part of it. Everybody sees the towels waving in the crowd, and this is a way they can do it at home and just feel a part of that.
Oh, that's awesome. Kickoff is Friday night, set for 7:30. You can watch that game on ESPN. Still to come on Midday, an Indiana lawmaker has filed 2 bills affecting executions in the Hoosier State. What's a part of those bills next?
Now, Wave News Midday.
Thanks for staying with us here. I'm Shannon Kogan. Yes, Marissa, who was at the Splattery, she pointed out yellow is my favorite color. It's because I love the sun. But we don't have much of that today, Brian.
Yeah, well, we're going to get some as the afternoon wears on. So maybe you're the one that's helping to bring out the power of the sun here as we head throughout this midday. Because you already see signs of it looking at the airport. Got that hazy look. It looks like Los Angeles right now. It looks like LAX, doesn't it? But it's because we had fog this morning, so the sun rays are shining through this, lighting up that mist and water vapor we got. But this will clear. Every time we look at it, it'll improve. And you can already see the sky condition improving. And in fact, it's blue sky all over Indiana, blue sky to the south of Louisville as well. It's just right along the southern part of the metro. We still got some of that haze, but it's about to fade out. So we'll end up with a sunnier afternoon. And then tonight, temperatures ease back in the 40s. Tomorrow, we got a warm front coming our way, and it will kick up much more warmer air than we've had this week. We'll talk more about that and what it means for the weekend as well in just a few more minutes. Shannon?
Thank you, Brian. New on Midday, a man is in jail accused of setting fires inside 3 Fern Creek businesses. Wave News reporter Olivia Russell is here in the studio with details about those fires.
And Shannon, court documents say all of those fires caused minor damage. They happened when people were inside the buildings, putting them in serious danger. Police say James Huffins first went to the Fern Creek Kroger, where he entered the restroom, started a fire in a trash can, and then left. They say he did the same thing at the Walmart and Burger King right around the corner just a couple couple hours later. Investigators say all 3 businesses caught the incidents on surveillance video. He's now charged with 3 counts of first-degree arson. Court documents also show Huffins has a lengthy criminal history, including 2 active cases out of Shelby County. That's where he's being held right now. Shannon?
Thanks, Olivia. Bills are being proposed by Indiana lawmakers on using a firing squad for executions. 2 bills filed so far this session propose using that firing squad. One of the bills was heard in Senate Corrections and Criminal Law Committee yesterday. The author, Senator Mike Young, said some changes need to be made first. As it stands now, executions in Indiana are carried out through lethal injection. State officials have acknowledged the limited supply of the drugs used during the injections, in part due to cost and short shelf life.
And so our backup is, if they choose to do it, if they can't get the chemical, is by a firing squad.
Right now, 5 states use firing squads. That does not include Kentucky. Officials say what still needs to be worked out with this bill is how the firing squad would work, with questions surrounding how many people would be on it and whether some of the guns used would fire blanks. A Kentucky man is in jail after police say he stole his ex-girlfriend's car while she was in the hospital giving birth to their child. This happened in Martin County in eastern Kentucky. Police say Christopher Millette was at Pikeville Medical Center on Friday to watch the birth of his child. Investigators say the woman allowed him to sit in her car to stay warm because hospital policies prevented him from staying with her inside. An arrest report says security video showed him then driving away with the vehicle while the woman was giving birth. Investigators say when she called to ask him where her car was, he told her it was none of her business, and that's when he hung up. Millette was arrested Saturday night. He is charged with auto theft. Amy McGrath is officially now in the race for U.S. Senate. The seat will be open when longtime Senator Mitch McConnell retires at the end of his term. This is McGrath's second attempt at U.S. Senate after losing to McConnell in 2020. And she talked about why she's vying for another chance at the seat.
I'm doing this again because I love Kentucky and because I love our country. And I think we need better leaders. And it's the same reason that I launched, that I got into politics, 8 years ago, because I think we need better leaders. And honestly, if things were better, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Things aren't better.
McGrath joins several other Democrats and Republicans vying for this seat. The primary election is May 19th. The general election will be November 3rd. An Indiana man is dead after firefighters say he went back inside a burning home to try to save a family dog. This happened in the Henryville area Sunday evening at a house on Spieth Road. Monroe Township Fire says they got a 911 call and the dispatcher heard yelling and a smoke detector going off. The fire department says witnesses saw the man who lives in the house go back inside trying to save the dog. Firefighters rescued the dog from a second-floor balcony, but then found the man dead upstairs. The Indiana Fire Marshal's office is investigating the cause of the fire. The coroner's office has not released the name of the man who died. Here's Brian right now looking at our Wednesday.
Well, we've had a dry week so far, but that is about to change. Starting tomorrow, a few light showers, but it's really late Thursday night and Friday and parts even Saturday that we receive the most rain out of the system. It'll arrive in different phases and rounds, but altogether, a good 1 inch of rain could fall in the area. Some spots in our southern counties could even exceed 2 inches of rain. So, yeah, a good drink of water there, right? We'll talk about it in more specifics and timing coming up here in just a few more minutes, Shannon.
Thank you, Brian. So how long have you worked at your company? Wait till you hear how long this man has worked at the same company. It's in What's Good next.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students. The latest local
MassDirectUSA.com.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports the average employee stays with the company for 4 years. So how about a Louisville man who has worked with the same company for 70 years? 70. I had a chance to speak with him in this What's Good. He's 94 years old, but Dan Santos still goes to work at New York Life. He's been doing it for 70 years.
I like to be doing something every day. So if I retired, what would I be doing? Watching TV every day or something?
The Massachusetts native met his Louisville-born wife when he was stationed at Fort Knox and took a job with the company.
Hello?
The insurance agent has cut down the number of days he works.
I'd rather come in every day, but they won't let me come in every day. So I only come in on Tuesday and Thursday.
They are his kids.
Yeah, good genes. We're holding on.
Dan Santos Jr., who's worked alongside his dad for more than 30 years.
So now I can take care of his people going forward.
Did I sign something for that?
There was a signature involved, yes.
And his daughter, Lisa.
No, I will not work at a paid job until I'm 94. No.
She drives him to and from work, something he's not happy about.
I'm really still teed off that they won't let me drive anymore.
I can tell.
And I want to talk to you about that.
Yes.
And I want you on my side.
All right. One thing you won't find on his desk, a computer. He's never used one. How has your business changed over the years? Like, do you have a cell phone now?
Yes. Where is it? Yeah.
7 decades with the same company and no plans to stop.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Can you believe that? Wow, that's a long time. He says he just loves the people. Let's go outside of the Weather Garden right now. Brian Good is out there. How long have you been here?
I've been here over 15 years, although nothing compared to that, obviously. But wow, that's 70 is a long time. And you know what? I would never have guessed that he's 94 because he just seems sharp as tack out there for sure. So he's going to keep on going for a while. Congrats to him. I hope I am that fortunate as I continue to increase my years. All right, outside it is nice. Hey, Shannon, there's your sun. It's out here now, so we'll have a very pleasant afternoon for us. So I know it seems a bit cool now, but we're going to make up for it. We're going to climb a good 10 degrees from where we are now. But before we get to the setup with the storm system bringing us rain, let's talk about our snow chances as we typically do here on Midday at this point in the show. And you know what? The snowboard is actually still fairly active. We've got the snow showers this weekend. You guys have known about that for a while. We get into next week, especially the latter half of next week. Interesting. We'll go with rain or snow. It may end up being a rain to snow type of deal, but worth watching. And then not long after that, we have another one that shows up with another chance for snow. And if I were to extend this out another line at the bottom, we would be adding in another one before the end of January. So it's going to get busy. I don't see any big snows coming yet, but we wouldn't. And this kind of a pattern, you would not see that until you're very close in range. So right now, they're all chances, and we'll just see how they look as we get closer. All right, it is 46, as I mentioned, cool out, but with a relatively calm setup here today and the beautiful blue sky overhead, it's not going to take long. We'll get that thermometer up here very soon into those 50s. The clouds still lingering across our southern tier of counties, at least in the metro, back toward Du Bois County, but they'll be fading out. Well, let's skip ahead to tomorrow. Tomorrow, clouds are back again, so not as pretty as today, and a warm front will move in during the afternoon. Could squeeze out a few showers, maybe a pocket or two of drizzle, minor issue overall. It looks like a lot of rain here Thursday night. I think this is going to be very spotty Thursday evening. The main show is going to be late Thursday night and Friday morning. That is when a cold front will move in but stall right over the Ohio River, and that's going to lead to some showers and perhaps some thunderstorms. Right now, the severe risk still looks very low for this setup. In fact, it's going to be hard to even get lightning out of it, but still worth watching. Now we get into tomorrow's rain chance. A lot of these are low in chances because there's not much happening other than the warm front moving in, and then, of course, the main show later Thursday night. So much of the day will be more dry than wet. We get into Friday. System number 2 moves in, taking a bit more of a southerly track compared to the one tomorrow. That's going to keep your severe risks down around Nashville, Knoxville, Tennessee, down to Atlanta. Will be grazed by rounds of rain, and a chilly rain at that as we into Saturday that will eventually go over to some snow showers later Saturday night and Sunday. Here's a quick glance at the 10-day, and I'll go into more detail coming up. You see the 60s. Look at that, near 70 potentially on Friday. Isn't that nice? 34 for high on Sunday. And then next week, that's a system we'll be watching more than 7 days out, so plenty of time for that to get fine-tuned. All right, stay with us. We've got much more Midday on this Wednesday coming up in just 2.5 minutes.
Celebrating 45 years.
Financial experts say now is the time to start gathering your documents needed for tax season.
Anything that comes in the mail marked tax info, put it in a pile and take it with you. If you know that you have mortgage interest, property taxes, acquire those documents early because itemized deductions are changing. They actually count for things now. If you do charitable donations or goodwill donations or anything like that, go ahead and get receipts for those, tally those up.
New deductions could take place from the recent legislation in the Trump administration's big, beautiful bill, such as the no tax on overtime and no car loan interest. If you work more than one job, officials recommend talking with a consultant. You could win tickets to this year's Super Bowl in California by donating blood through the American Red Cross. There are centers right now hosting blood drives, including the Downtown Louisville Blood Center, Louisville Pride Center, and St. Andrew UCC. They say they especially need type O, A, and B negative. You can also make an appointment online by going to redcrossblood.org. The giveaway includes a ticket for you and a guest, access to pregame activities, plus airfare, hotel, and more. You have until January 25th to donate to enter. Super Bowl 60 is February 8th. And you can watch it right here on Wave. Coming up on Midday, over 5,000 companies are showcasing their technology advancements in Las Vegas. How these could change the future.
One to the end of the case. That's the Desmond difference.
Starting today, you can try Starbucks' new winter menu, and they're getting into the protein game with this one, too. The new drinks include the Caramel Protein Latte, iced Dubai chocolate mocha, pistachio latte, and pistachio cortado. You can also try their new truffle, mushroom, and brie egg bites. That sounds good. Well, the biggest names in tech are at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, with more than 5,000 companies in attendance. NBC's Susan Hogan shares some of the fan favorites and innovations that could change our daily lives in the future.
My follower count is climbing faster than my battery percentage drops.
Meet the newest members of the household, from talking robots.
Basically, I am the multitasker your phone wishes it could be.
To talking appliances that will cook your food with just the command of your voice.
Hey, air fryer, cook chicken nuggets.
Baking frozen chicken nuggets. 390 degrees.
My kids don't listen to me, but this does.
This is a robot that will actually do your laundry for you. It will not only put clothes into the washing machine and set it will also take them out and put it into the dryer. I mean, what?
AI companions are designed to feel lifelike, emotional, and responsive.
2, 1, cheers.
Some look like pets, robotic dogs that recognize voices, respond to touch. This isn't novelty tech anymore. It's companionship by design.
Let's go talk about in the middle of the desert. I mean, when in Vegas, right?
Now we have a system called Auto Captain that will actually just, at the press of a button, dock the boat for you, and this system simulates it.
This year's CES floor is packed with AI designed to make your life, well, easier.
Here. Wireless TV, it's only 9 millimeters thick. Look at that. Easy. It's called wallpaper TV. That was so cool. Let's go see more. This is new technology here using red light, which is all the rage. So as you're drying your hair, it's detecting the health of your scalp. Oh my God, there's a robot that will even play chess with you. If you love to go camping, this is a mini projector. You can literally go outside, set it up just like that, and then your whole family can sit around the campfire and watch a movie. In Las Vegas, Susan Hogan, NBC News.
Wow, a lot of cool stuff. That event goes on in Vegas until Friday. We'll be right back.
The Wave News.
On Advantage Roofing and Construction today.
Now, your 10-day forecast from the Wave Storm Tracking Team.
Alrighty, as we head through the next several days, we're going to go from really a very warm pattern that we've had, warm compared to normal, back to a little bit more of a reality check as we head into the latter half of the weekend, and then staying into a January theme as we head down the road. All right, so in the short term, quiet today. We got some rain coming our way and some thunder as well. The highest rain chance, if I had to pick out 2 time periods, it would be late Thursday night into the morning commute Friday, and then also Friday night into about midday Saturday. Those are the 2 main windows. Then it's some snow showers on Saturday night and Sunday we'll be tracking. And then next week, it's interesting. I'll talk more about this coming up during the noon show, but there is a chance we could get a more organized system that could bring some wintry weather as we get into next week. Needs more time in the oven to cook, as I like to say. So
okay.
Hang tight. We'll keep you updated. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brian. And thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great Wednesday. Wave News at noon is next.
this.
Deal ends January 9th.
Now, Wave News at noon.
And as always, thanks so much for joining us for Wave News at noon, everybody. I'm Rob Wells. Prosecutors are now dismissing a fetal homicide charge against a Kentucky woman accused of aborting her own pregnancy. Melinda Spencer was arrested last week after state troopers say that she told a clinic she aborted her pregnancy and then buried her fetus. The Commonwealth's attorney for the 39th Judicial Circuit says she's dropping the fetal homicide charge. She says that state law prohibits the prosecution of a pregnant woman who causes the death of her unborn child. She said that, quote, "I sought this job with the intention of being a pro-life prosecutor, but must do so within the boundaries allowed by Kentucky state law that I'm sworn to defend." Spencer's charged, meanwhile, with concealing the birth of an infant, abuse of a corpse, and then tampering with evidence. Elsewhere, the Jefferson County Coroner's Office released the name of the woman involved in a crash who was fatally struck by a vehicle when she got out of her car on Bardstown Road and Waterston Trail. She's been identified as 55-year-old Chiquita Woods. The crash happened on Tuesday morning. Police say that Woods was involved in a crash, got out of her car, and then was hit. Woods, we're told, was rushed to the hospital where she later died. No charges are expected in that case. A man's in jail on arson charges after authorities say that he set fires inside 3 separate businesses. Police say that James Huffines, the first, went into the Fern Creek Kroger, entered the restroom, started a fire in a trash can, and then left. They say he did the same thing at a Walmart and a Burger King that were located nearby. Investigators say that all those incidents were caught on surveillance video. Huffines' arrest report shows that people were inside all 3 of those businesses, putting their lives at risk. Right now, he's in the Shelby County Detention Center. Brian's in now to give us a first look at the weather forecast. Another mild one out there today, but hopefully it looks like we might be getting some more season-like temperatures coming days up ahead.
Yeah, it looks like we'll get back to that reality check before long. So enjoy the next few days, even though it's going to cloud back up tomorrow. Today, we've got the best looking day that we'll have for a while here. So enjoy this beautiful blue sky. Still got some haze just above the tree line there from the early morning mist and fog that we have. That's eroding away each little scan. You can see it shrink down. So nothing but blue sky galore for the rest of the day. Hour by hour, that sun will be responsible for allowing our numbers to keep increasing several degrees each and every hour into the upper 50s later today. But yes, there will be a reality check coming our way. We'll talk about that in the 10-day in just a few more minutes, Rob.
Brian, thanks so much. Today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear will deliver the State of the Commonwealth address. This is Beshear's last 2-year budget session as governor of the state. The governor is combining the State of the Commonwealth speech with the biennial budget address. The legislative session started yesterday with both the House as well as the Senate. One of the biggest concerns right now is the budget itself. There's disagreement between Democrats and Republicans about the financial outlook. Senate Democrats say that local governments are feeling the financial burden after decisions in Washington. Kentucky, meanwhile, is projected to have a $156 million deficit this year. Senate President Robert Stivers says that Kentucky has a promising financial picture. Stivers says that Kentucky didn't have a spending shortfall, saying that, quote, "We actually exceeded our projections by $131 million. That is still in the books." The governor's address, by the way, starts at 5:30. You can watch it on KET as well as Facebook and YouTube as well. 2 Kentucky state senators introduced a bill to designate October 14th as Charlie Kirk Day in the Commonwealth. Kirk was fatally shot at Utah Valley University on September the 10th. October 14th was Kirk's birthday. Republicans Steve Rawlings and Lindsey Techner co-sponsored that bill. Another person is now making it official. They're after Mitch McConnell's job. Wave News anchor Myra Ansari joins us now. And Myra, this candidate is a familiar face to a lot of Kentuckians.
Yeah, Rob, it's Daniel Cameron. Cameron said that he was entering the Senate race last year, minutes after McConnell announced that he plans to retire at the end of 2026. Today, his supporters came together to see him officially file for the job.
Daniel, he's our man. He can do it. No one can.
Cameron served as Attorney General of Kentucky from 2019 to 2024. He was also the Republican nominee in the 2023 Kentucky gubernatorial election, losing to Democratic incumbent Andy Beshear. He knows McConnell well. He previously served as legal counsel to Senator McConnell. Cameron faces competition in the Republican primary from U.S. Representative Andy Barr and businessman Nate Morris, among others. Cameron has aligned himself with the America First agenda of President Donald Trump.
So focusing on how much money we can put back into the pockets of people so that they can, pay for groceries and gas and summer leagues for their kids, and ensuring that we stand firm for our law enforcement community in securing our southern border. We've got a president that's working diligently on that right now.
And yesterday, Democrat Amy McGrath officially filed to run for U.S. Senate, marking her second attempt at the seat. Other notable names, the Democratic side, Charles Booker and Pamela Stevenson. Their primary election is May 19th. The general election is coming up November 3rd. Rob?
Okay, Myra, thanks so much for the update. We appreciate it. Other candidates who've announced a bid for McConnell's seat on the Democratic side, as Myra mentioned, former Marine fighter pilot Amy McGrath filed paperwork yesterday. There's also Charles Booker, former Secret Service agent Logan Forsyth, ex-CIA officer Joel Willett, State Representative Pamela Stevenson, and horse trainer Dale Romans. Republicans hoping to take that same seat, they include the following: former State Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who we just heard from, Congressman Andy Barr, businessman Nate Morris, and Elizabethtown native Michael Ferris. Well, as tax season approaches, a Kentucky tax preparer is sharing tips to help people avoid some costly mistakes. Kevin Morrison is a tax preparer with Studel Financial Services in Bowling Green. He says the best advice is to start early. Morrison also recommends keeping track of some important documents.
Anything that comes in the mail marked tax info, put it in a pile and take it with you. If you know that you have mortgage interest, property taxes, acquire those documents early, because itemized deductions are changing. They actually count for things now. If you do charitable donations or goodwill donations or anything like that, go ahead and get receipts for those, tally those up. The more that you can have prepared for your preparer, the easier your tax appointment's going to be.
And if you work more than one job, there are small business owner or own rental properties. Morris recommends to call an expert and get some help. By the way, the last day to file your taxes is April the 15th. Brand new at noon, parking a lot different going forward. According to our new news partners at the News and Tribune, the City Council considered an ordinance this week that would include brand new parking restrictions within the city limits themselves. The ordinance lays out rules on street parking. For parking within marked spaces, it would be unlawful for vehicles to touch any lines designating a space. In streets with no marked spaces, vehicles should be parked parallel to the curb on the right side, with fines ranging from $10 to $300 for a violation. Also, cars can't park in an alley except for unloading and loading. The ordinance passed the first reading and could be discussed yet again during their meeting next month.
We do have a severe risk, a very low and severe risk that has been posted for the wee hours here of not only Friday morning, but again as we get into Friday evening. And right now, our southern county is a little more at risk, but this again is a very minor threat compared to other elements we may see out of the storm system. I'll walk you through all of them and what it means for your weekend plans coming up here in just a few more minutes, Rob.
Brian, thank you. Free Wi-Fi when hitting the skies. It's really happening. The plans by American Airlines to keep you a little bit better connected. That's when Wave News at Noon continues.
Available on all your favorite devices.
American Airlines has announced that passengers enrolled in its loyalty program will now get free in-flight Wi-Fi. In a statement, the air carrier's chief customer officer said free high-speed Wi-Fi isn't just a perk, it's essential for today's travelers. The airline is offering Wi-Fi in partnership with AT&T. Rollout will start this month and should be on all the airline's flights by spring. Delta Airlines began to offer free in-flight internet access in 2023, while United Airlines offered in-flight Wi-Fi just last year. Amazon customers may be getting some money back. A new FTC settlement opens the door for refunds tied to Amazon Prime signups. The FTC says that Amazon made it easy to sign up for Prime, but a little bit harder to cancel. Some customers will receive automatic refunds. Others must file a claim through the settlement website itself. Eligible customers could receive up to $51 back in Prime membership fees. The notices are being sent out by email. Customers will have 180 days to submit a final claim. That's, I think, true for a lot of those. Like, you sign up for something, you think, I'm going to try this out, or it sounds great. Then you think, not so much. Then it's all the little hoops you have to jump through to try to cancel it and make sure that you hit the right thing in order to cancel it permanently. Not an easy task today.
Yeah, it's always the smallest of print where it has the button, but you got to keep scrolling down to the very, 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 very bottom, and then you may find it. But yeah, always tricky there.
Not bad weather-wise out, though.
It's really
Nothing
nice.
Tricky out there right now. It's just plain mild.
No, everyone's had a chance to notice a lot of the holiday lights have been taken down in my neighborhood. And typically, last year it didn't happen until almost February because we got into just a winter storm. Snow and ice. Nobody could get outside to do anything. So the holiday decor was up for a long time. This year, the weather has cooperated to where we've been able to kind of get things back on track fairly quick this season, which is nice because we know winter is going to certainly fight back. But right now, beautiful view there in Corden, Louisville 46. That's a bit cool, but there's not any wind to worry about. Excuse me. So there's not much of a chill factor going on here. But with the sun at play for the rest of the day, lots of sun, hardly a cloud actually in the sky now, and then calm winds. That's a good recipe for another 10-degree jump in temperatures from where they are now. So again, a very pleasant setup. Now our system coming our way, two pieces to it. The first one now moving into the southwest part of the country. It's going to race here by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. That's when our rain chance will start to kick in. So we're fine today, we're fine tonight. Tomorrow, the warm front attached to the first system will move in during the afternoon. So the morning looks quiet. The afternoon, the warm front passes. Could squeeze out maybe a couple of showers or some patchy drizzle, minor. It's only like 30 minutes or so of any moisture along that front that we have to watch for. It'll move in, it'll move out. So maybe a spotty downpour possible into the evening hours. I don't see any thunderstorms right now that would develop in that environment, but something we'll watch. The main rain chance is actually when we're waking up, getting ready to head out the door for Friday morning. That's when we'll have this wave of thunderstorms roll through. The severe risk is quite low with this, but it's not zero, so we need to monitor that. I think more of an issue would just be the rainfall rate at rush hour. How will that influence traffic? I think you know the answer to that, so kind of a big heads up. All right, for Thursday's rain chance, again, we'll keep it relatively tame because there's not a lot to work with initially until we get to the later Thursday night window. And the wind, same storyline. The wind will not really ramp up until the warm front passes overhead. Once it does, we will stay breezy all the way through this event, it looks like. Friday, system number 2 rolls in with yet another round of rain, especially Friday afternoon, evening. We'll talk about that and what it means at the end of the system coming up here in just a few more minutes, Rob.
Brian, thank you so much. A new year can mean new opportunities for fraudsters to target you. Valeria Aponte Feliciano shares the top scams that you should be on the lookout for in 2026.
New year, same old scams. These 3 are expected to top the list in 2026. Impersonation scams, investment scams, and job scams. But the big difference is the technology that bad actors use when targeting you. That includes artificial intelligence.
Now they can craft much better messages and more believable, either by text or by email. And they can also replicate the voice of people that we know or make a voice or videos that sound and look very convincing.
Pablo Molina is the Chief Information Officer at Drexel University with a doctorate degree on the adoption of technology. He says they'll try to hook you with the AI, but there are red flags that can help a consumer spot any of these scams. One is a sense of urgency.
So when anybody asks us to act very quickly to avoid having our bank account closed or our wages garnished or some other legal consequence, take a step back, think about it.
What continues to make these scams so effective is that they prey on the consumer's psychological drivers.
Things like trying to help others or trying not to get into trouble, and occasionally also our greed, our inclination to make money or save money, and occasionally it could also be our need for romance.
Now, if you happen to fall for a scam in the new year, Molina recommends reporting it to the Internet Complaint Crime Center online or to your local law enforcement. Now, in some cases, it can help get your money back. A close call for one officer helping a stranded driver. The details on that and more when Wave News at Noon continues.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.
More than it's worth. Only at the Kia stores.
And taking a look at the videos that you just can't miss this noon hour, a dramatic crash on a Minnesota highway. A traffic camera captured the moment that a Minnesota State Trooper squad car was struck in Oak Park Heights. The trooper had responded to a single vehicle crash when the driver of a Chevy Equinox struck that squad car. The cruiser was empty at the time. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Scary moments aboard a LATAM Airlines flight when its tires blew out Tuesday night. The flight had just arrived at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport after a 7-hour trip from Lima, Peru. According to an FAA spokesperson, the tires blew out after that plane landed. Nobody was hurt. An investigation into exactly what caused the mishap is still underway. Warner Brothers recommended its shareholders reject a hostile takeover from Paramount Studios. The board concluded that the Paramount bid is inferior to a previously announced deal with Netflix to buy Warner Brothers for $72 billion. The recommendation came despite the guarantee of backing for the Paramount Skydance offer by billionaire Larry Ellison. Netflix is once again in the lead to acquire that company. Coming up, we'll take a look at all the stories that we're working on for Wave News later this afternoon.
Available on all your streaming devices.
Here's a look at the stories that we're working to bring you on Wave News later this afternoon. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services changed vaccine recommendations earlier this week. We're digging into the changes and how they impact families. And we're learning more about the city's first ever Chief AI Officer and the Metro's first AI pilot project. We have a live look at that press conference right now, what the announcement means for the city and people living here. Plus, IU's in Georgia ahead of the Big Peach Bowl. We're there too. We'll bring you all the preparations that are underway ahead of their matchup against the Oregon Ducks set for Friday.
Now, your 10-day forecast from the Wave Storm Tracking Team.
Oh, yes, some exciting times. All right, here we go, guys, with the 10-day. That's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride for us. We've got the rain that will be arriving in two phases, starting really more so tomorrow night. And again, on Friday into Saturday, we'll end as some snow showers on Sunday. The snow shower part looks minor because it'll be a light snow and the ground's warm, so a lot of that will melt on contact, but some grassy amounts in a few spots when it's coming down, possible. But we're not worried about travel here with this, so just kind of keep that in mind, and we'll monitor the trends as we evolve through the weekend. Next week, we start off with a nice little bump in temperature, getting back in the 50s, but it's very short-lived, and this is where things get complex. Two systems move into the area later next week. Would they become friends and handshake and become a bigger system that may have more problems with it, especially on the wintry side, or would they stay separate? If so, we're only talking about minor rain, snow mix type of stuff. Nothing will cause any travel concerns. Too early to really know if they're going to be friends or not. But we're going to be watching the relationship carefully.
That handshake, that Mother Nature handshake. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but it's a great idea. Yeah. Beautiful thought.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Very peaceful.
Make it a great and safe afternoon. Listen's Live up next.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more, all for free with Wave Now.
Listen.